Welcome to this exploration of the Bhagavad Gita Chapter 2, verses 39 through 72, a timeless dialogue between the warrior Arjuna and his divine guide, Lord Krishna, set on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. In this chapter, Krishna unveils the path of wisdom, teaching Arjuna and all of us how to act with clarity, purpose, and inner freedom. The key takeaways from this chapter are profound and practical. Krishna teaches us that wise action is action performed without attachment to results. He introduces the concept of steady wisdom, a state where the mind is unshaken by sorrow or elated by joy. He shows us that true intelligence is not about accumulating knowledge, but about knowing how to live. Krishna introduces Buddhi Yoga, the yoga of wisdom-guided action. This is the path where the intellect, purified and steady, becomes our compass. Rather than being driven by impulse or desire, we learn to act from a place of deep understanding. Buddhi Yoga teaches us to align every action with our highest purpose, making each moment an offering rather than a transaction. Krishna speaks of the power of a focused mind. He says, "For one who is not concentrated, there is no wisdom, and for one who is not concentrated, there is no peace." In a world flooded with distraction, the ability to focus the mind is not merely a productivity skill. It is a spiritual discipline, the gateway to clarity and lasting peace. Krishna cautions us about the danger of becoming trapped in material desires. When the mind runs after the objects of the senses, it loses its wisdom. The pursuit of wealth, status, and pleasure, when driven by craving, creates a cycle of anxiety and dissatisfaction. True spiritual growth begins when we recognize that permanent peace cannot be found in temporary things. One of the most celebrated teachings of this chapter is the call to focus on effort rather than outcomes. Krishna says, "You have a right to perform your actions, but you are not entitled to the fruits of those actions." This is not resignation, it is liberation. Like a farmer who plants seeds with care and skill, trusting the season to bring its harvest, we are called to give our best without being enslaved by the result. Krishna teaches the virtue of equanimity, staying balanced in success and failure. He calls this samatvam, the evenness of mind that does not swing wildly between elation and despair. When we are rooted in this steadiness, we can meet life's victories and defeats with the same quiet dignity. Equanimity is not indifference. It is the strength to remain whole, regardless of circumstance. Krishna calls us to act with purpose that reaches beyond personal reward. The wise person serves not for recognition, not for gain, but because right action is its own fulfillment. Like a candle that gives its light without keeping score, we are invited to bring our full effort and care to every role we play, simply because it is the right thing to do. A calm mind is not a luxury. It is a necessity for right action. Krishna teaches that when the mind is disturbed, wisdom is clouded and poor decisions follow. Conversely, when the mind is still, like a clear lake that perfectly reflects the sky, we see reality as it is, and our choices become naturally wise. Cultivating inner calm is therefore the foundation of a meaningful life. Krishna describes the sthita prajna, the one of steady wisdom. This is a person who has transcended the restless movement of the ego, who is neither elated by praise nor crushed by criticism, who finds joy not in external circumstances, but in the quiet depth of their own being. The sthita prajna is not detached from the world. They engage it fully, but from a place of unshakable inner freedom. Self-mastery begins with mastering desire. Krishna teaches that when we allow unchecked desires to govern us, we become their servants, reactive, compulsive, and restless. but when we consciously choose where to direct our attention and energy, we reclaim our freedom. Like hands gently releasing a bird, self-mastery is not about suppression. It is about the graceful release of what does not serve our highest good. The journey inward is the most important journey we can take. As we learn to withdraw the senses from their constant pull toward the external world, we discover a reservoir of stillness within. This turning inward is not escapism. It is the courageous act of meeting ourselves honestly beneath the noise, beneath the roles we play, in the quiet presence of pure awareness. When we master ourselves, our reactions, our desires, our mind, we discover that inner peace is not something we find. It is something we uncover. It was always there, beneath the turbulence. Self-mastery leads not to emptiness, but to a fullness that the world cannot take away. Krishna offers us the image of the ocean, vast, deep, and unmoved. Rivers pour into it constantly, and yet it remains full. So too, the wise person receives the experiences of life, joy and sorrow, gain and loss, without being overwhelmed. They remain stable because their foundation is not in the changing world, but in the unchanging self. The flame of a lamp in a windless place does not flicker. This is the image Krishna uses for the steady mind, consistently focused, undisturbed by the gusts of craving and aversion. Inner steadiness is cultivated daily through practice, patience, and the quiet courage to return again and again to what is true. From Chapter 2, we gather 6 practical lessons for daily life. Act without attachment to results. Keep your mind focused and avoid unnecessary distraction. Practice equanimity in both success and failure. Serve with purpose, not for reward. Cultivate daily stillness through meditation or quiet reflection. Master your desires before they master you. These are not abstract ideals. They are living practices that transform ordinary life into a spiritual journey. Krishna closes this great chapter with a vision of the person who has truly awakened, one who has abandoned all desires, who is satisfied within the self alone. This is the seer who moves through the world in peace, neither grasping nor resisting, fully present and inwardly free. Krishna's final teaching is a declaration of ultimate freedom, the one who is free from desire, who has transcended ego, who acts in the world without clinging to it. That person attains the divine state, the Brahmi Sthiti. As the Gita reminds us, even a little of this Dharma saves us from great fear. Begin where you are, act with wisdom, live with love.